Good evening, Prue LeWarne with the latest news. Another volcano has come to life, this time in the Philippines. After 500 years of silence, the Pinatubo volcano near Manila began pouring out rocks and lava late today, raising fears of a major eruption. Japanese scientists, meanwhile, are keeping a close watch on Mount Unzen after another outburst destroyed more residential areas overnight.
The first of a series of pyroclastic flows struck just after dark. The hot gas, ash and rock gushed down the mountain, destroying everything in its path in an instant. Daybreak revealed the full extent of the damage. A 5-kilometre long swathe cut through the farms and houses, ending less than 2 kilometres from the sea. Around 60 homes have now been destroyed, but unlike Monday's disaster when 37 people perished, this time luckily no one was hurt. The area had been evacuated less than 1 hour before the latest flow struck.
Wild weather lashing the New South Wales coast has left one yachtsman missing off Port Stephens and brought sudden flooding in the south. The town of Moruya is isolated tonight and thousands of holidaymakers are stranded. Dozens of people have been forced from their homes.
Overnight, emergency crews evacuated 30 people from Moruya's caravan park after more than 130 millimetres of rain were dumped on the town in less than a day. All roads into and out of the town were swamped, and with a high tide expected to aggravate tonight's flood peak, some farmers spent the day moving livestock to higher ground.
And they reckon there's more rain on the way, so get the stock out now before it's too late.
Already, sections of the Princes Highway are under 2 metres of water, cut at several points by the Moruya River and further south near Badalla and Bega.
The last of Australia's Gulf War contingent arrived home today. The supply ship Westralia received an emotional welcome in Fremantle.
HMAS Westralia cruised proudly into port today, heralding its return home. The families and friends of the 81 men and women on board could hardly wait.
Oh, I wish I could jump over there right now.
When the ship's crew finally touched home soil, few words of welcome were needed.
Absolutely wonderful.
During the conflict, the Westralia refuelled 25 different ships from 11 countries. At one time, it was the only Allied supply ship in the combat zone.
And in Washington, the US capital, thousands of people lined the streets today to pay tribute to troops who fought in the Gulf War. The weapons that crushed Iraq's military machine were also on show in the biggest display of its kind since World War II.
Under clear skies and moderate temperatures, General Norman Schwarzkopf led his troops through the streets of Washington. At the presidential reviewing stand, the commander of Desert Storm saluted his commander-in-chief and then joined the President and Mrs. Bush to watch as American servicemen and women were officially welcomed home. As military aircraft roared overhead and M1 tanks clanked along the pavement, thousands of everyday Americans roared their approval. Most said they came just to say thank you. The troops clearly enjoyed the praise heaped on them by their countrymen. While there were a handful of demonstrators opposing the parade, they were for the most part orderly and had little effect on this afternoon's festivities. But the day was also devoted to more somber activities. A memorial service at Arlington Cemetery for those Americans who didn't return from the Gulf.
The American astronauts aboard the Space Shuttle Columbia have been told there's no need for a spacewalk to repair a loose seal on a cargo bay door. The weather stripping came loose after liftoff last Wednesday, and it was feared the cargo bay doors would not close properly. NASA officials say they carried out tests on a shuttle on Earth and decided the bad seal would pose no problem. Columbia's flight is less than halfway through, but scientists say it has already provided new information on how microgravity affects the body's vital systems. A quick look now at the national forecast. It should be fine in Darwin, with drizzle in Hobart, showers or rain elsewhere. And I'll be back with more news in 1 hour.